Lily, have you gotten your stuff ready for the SATs tomorrow? The last thing I remembered was the searing pain of being beaten. The next, I heard my best friend's voice. I whipped my head around. I stared at the sweet-faced girl, and a chill ran down my spine. I never would have guessed that behind that innocent mask was a heart as venomous as a snake's. Lily? Lily? My best friend's hand waved in front of my face. Huh. Oh, I said, snapping back to reality. I looked around at the familiar scene. The peeling walls, the desks covered in graffiti and poked with holes, and the blackboard with the SAT countdown showing just one day left. It hit me. I was reborn. I had returned to the day before the SATs. It's nothing. The memory of that mob's fists and feet from my last life was still so vivid. It felt like 1,000 stones were crushing me. The pain was so real. I quickly turned my head away. Are you too nervous? You keep spacing out. My best friend pressed her hand to my forehead. I flinched and pulled away. Lily, are you sick? What if it affects your scores? What are we going to do? She asked, her voice laced with worry. I shook my head. No, I'm probably just stressed. What were you going to tell me? My best friend nodded and smiled at me. She was holding an eraser. A pure white eraser. It was the exact same one she gave me in my past life. I was just about to ask if you had all your supplies packed. I bought a new eraser and got one for you too. Use this for the SATs tomorrow. Remembering what happened last time, my heart pounded. I didn't dare reach for it. I couldn't make the same mistake again. I pulled out my own eraser and refused hers. No thanks, I have my own. You should use it. I'm used to this one. But she snatched my eraser and tossed it into the trash can. What is that piece of junk? She said, all high and mighty. It's as black as charcoal. What if you smudge your answer sheet and it messes up your score? This one is new and works great. Just take it. She'd used the exact same lines in my past life. Trusting her, I took the eraser to the exam. During the very first test, the proctor dragged me out of the room. I was banned from taking any more exams. And in the end, I was beaten to death. Even now, I could almost feel the phantom pains. If I trust her again, I'm a complete idiot. Okay, I'll use yours then. Thanks, sweetie. Seeing me take the eraser, my best friend finally let out a sigh of relief. I held the eraser, studying it for a long time, but I couldn't see anything wrong with it. The eraser was snow white, as pure and clean as freshly fallen snow. It had no wrapper, just a plain white block. I tried to find a single letter on it, but there was nothing. Strange. It was so strange. No matter how I looked at it, the eraser was just an eraser. In my last life, I never examined it closely, but I was pretty sure there was nothing on it then, either. Just like now. There was nothing on it. So where did those words come from? I couldn't figure it out. After school, we all started packing up to go home. The teacher reminded us not to study too late, or we'd be groggy for the test tomorrow. My best friend, sitting in front of me, let out a tiny, cold scoff after the teacher finished his speech. It was so quiet, I wasn't even sure if it came from her, or if I'd just imagined it. Lily, school's out. Let's go to the library on street to study. The other students had trickled out, leaving me alone in the classroom. My best friend turned to me, her smile dazzlingly sweet. I nodded. Okay. Wutong Street wasn't a place we went to often. Only when we needed to cram for a big test. In my past life, she had also suggested studying on street. I didn't think twice and just went with her. Everything was the same as before. When we got to the library, I paid close attention to our surroundings. Everything looked normal. There was no noticeable difference. I wasn't sure if it was because of what happened last time or for some other reason, but I had a feeling something about this library was different. Lily, what are you looking at? My best friend suddenly asked, turning to face me. I jumped. And nothing. Her eyes stared at me intently, as if she were trying to see right through me. I tried to act calm. What's wrong? But she just smiled. Nothing. Let's get back to studying. After studying for a while, the sky began to darken. We packed our things, ready to leave. Sleep early tonight, okay? See you tomorrow, she said, still smiling. I nodded. My best friend and I lived pretty far apart, so from street, we had to go in opposite directions. After we parted ways, I walked a little further until I was sure Maya was long gone. I couldn't see her anymore. Then I turned back and went back to the library. I don't know why, but I had a strong feeling that something was very wrong with that place. From the outside, the library looked normal, with an old, worn-out sign hanging above the door. We used to love coming here because it was quiet and good for studying. It was Maya who brought me here. She said she loved this place. This library must have been open for years, so many that you couldn't count. It was steeped in the scent of old memories. I walked inside. There was a hallway at the back of the library. I'd never been down it because it was always closed off. What are you looking for? As I stood at the entrance to the hallway, a low voice came from behind me. I spun around. Her eyes landed on me, and her stare made my skin crawl. I was just looking. Why is this area closed off? I asked. She smiled. Because there's a secret in here. Want to come see? She walked past me and headed down the hallway. As she passed, I caught a strange scent on her. It smelled like blood. And no thanks. I bolted. I'll admit I was scared. Scared of enclosed spaces and unknown places. In my past life, I was dragged into a dark alley by those people and tortured to death. I didn't dare take another step. Aren't you brave enough? She asked, her gaze turning sinister. I didn't say a word. I just ran. I ran and ran, not stopping until I was safe at home. Lily, where have you been? Why are you back so late? You have the SATs tomorrow and you're still out messing around. My mom smiled kindly. Her smile was nothing like that woman's. I shook my head. Nowhere, Mom. What's for dinner? Mom patted my head. You little glutton. We have to eat light these next few days. I'll make you a feast after your exams are over. She was right. I needed to be careful. After dinner, I studied for a bit and then went to bed. On the day of the SATs, I met up with Maya to go to the testing center together. Lily, do you have all your stuff? Check again to make sure you're not missing anything, Maya said with concern. She seemed obsessed with my school supplies. I handed her my clear pencil case. I already checked. I even checked 3 times before leaving the house. I'm not missing a single thing. Maya took my pencil case and checked it herself. She picked up a pen, looked it over, and then picked up the eraser she gave me yesterday. Seeing that I had brought the eraser, she smiled with satisfaction. She put everything back. I checked for you. You're all set. Let's go take our test. Maya and I weren't in the same testing room, she was in the one next to mine. As I went through the security check, I took that eraser and threw it. Then I reached into my bag and pulled out another one, identical to the first. This one I had bought myself at the supermarket. I glanced outside. The flame trees were in full bloom. The eraser fell, landing on one of the fiery red flowers. The first test was English. With a nervous heart, I placed my pencil case on my desk. On some strange impulse, I took out my new eraser and placed it on my test paper. I'd write an answer, then glance at it, making sure no words would magically appear. I finished the entire test in this state of anxiety. Not a single word appeared on the eraser. So it really was the eraser's fault last time. After I threw away Maya's eraser, the 3 days of the SATs went by without a hitch. After the last exam, Maya came out holding her pencil case. Lily, how do you think you did? Maya asked. I looked at Maya's face. The smile was still there, but it didn't reach her eyes. Her gaze had turned cold, chilling me to the bone. I was too nervous these past few days. I didn't sleep well. I probably didn't do great, I said. Really? Maya sounded skeptical. I nodded. Yeah. The day scores were released. Maya couldn't wait to ask me how I did. I looked at my score, but I felt a sense of dread. Should I tell Maya my real score? I still didn't understand why she had tried to ruin me in our past life. We had been so close. Lily? Why aren't you answering? Maya asked impatiently. I hesitated, not knowing what to say. You did really well, didn't you? Maya's tone shifted, sensing my hesitation. I already asked around. You got a 736. I only got a 735. I didn't beat you. Maya's voice was filled with sadness. Lily, you didn't use the eraser I gave you, did you? Her voice turned icy. I can't feel its presence anymore. What? I frowned. Whose presence? Who is it? I didn't use it. Why? My heart was racing, but I tried to sound calm. Did that sentence just slip out? Or did she say it on purpose for me to hear? It's nothing. Congratulations, by the way. Top score in the country. Unlike me, just 1 point shy. Just 1 point. On the other end of the line, Maya sighed, then hung up. This was wrong. Very wrong. I had to get to the bottom of this. In the end, I decided to go back to the library. I had to see what was in that long hallway. I went in secret, sneaking in just before the library closed for the evening. I hid inside until it was completely dark. Then, under the cover of darkness, I crept toward the hallway. The hallway was long, very long. I had glanced in before, and it looked like a void. Back then, I would have just assumed the lights were off. But now I had a wild idea. What if it wasn't just dark? What if the hallway had no end? With a heart full of fear and curiosity, I crept forward, finally stopping at the entrance. The lights in the hallway flickered on. I saw strange things inside. A doll, pierced with silver needles. Further in, there was an alcove in the wall holding a black and white photograph. Beneath the photo was a name. Was this closed-off hallway actually a memorial shrine? The walls of the hallway were lined with many small dolls, each stuck with pins. On the back of each doll was a yellow talisman, and written on it was my name and birth date. What the hell was going on? I wanted to go deeper, but I heard footsteps behind me. Someone was coming. I quickly tiptoed out and found a corner to hide in, not daring to breathe. Brother, I'm back. That woman dared to throw me away. She's so awful. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to make her suffer a horrible death. It was the library manager I had seen before, the one who stopped me from going near the hallway. She looked disheveled, and the smell of damp earth after a rainstorm wafted from her. It had rained on the day of the SATs, a heavy downpour. There was a flower petal in her hair. A flame tree flower. Red as fire. The flame tree just like the one at the testing center. The same one my eraser had landed on when I threw it away. Maya, it's me. The woman made a phone call. Maya's voice came through the phone almost instantly. Where have you been? I haven't been able to find you for days. Do you know how worried I was? I heard it clearly. That was Maya's voice. I wasn't mistaken. That bitch threw me away. It took me forever to get back. Was she talking about me? I couldn't let myself think about it. Flame tree thrown away, these words connected in my mind, forming a terrifying picture. She didn't seem human. For some reason, I had a very bold thought. The person standing before me was the eraser I had thrown away. Erasers can come to life these days? I was terrified, hiding in the corner, completely still, not even daring to breathe. Does she know something? What should we do next? The woman asked again. Maya's voice echoed through the hallway, long and eerie. Leave the rest to me. Just close up the library and come to my place. My heart tightened. What was her next plan? Why was she so determined to destroy me? We were supposed to be best friends. We promised we'd go to an Ivy League school together. Why? I didn't understand. In my last life, she and this eraser conspired to ruin me. Now I finally understood why every word I had written on my test appeared on that eraser. This eraser had gained sentience. It had come to life. They stopped talking. I stayed in the library for a long time. In the middle of the night, while the eraser woman was gone, I snuck out. The next morning, Maya came to find me. Lily, the SATs are over. I know we both have the scores to get in, but I'm still a little worried. I want to go to the temple on the mountain to pray, just for peace of mind. Will you come with me? What did she have to worry about? She was only 1 point behind me, second in the entire country. Maya had a backpack on and was beaming at me. She looked so sweet, like an unmelted piece of candy. I just couldn't imagine someone like her wanting to hurt me. She was never the type to pray to gods or Buddhas. Because of her family situation, she worked harder than anyone. She never had time for that. Now that the SATs were over, why would she suddenly think of going to a temple? I remembered her conversation with the eraser yesterday. This must be their next move. Were they planning to harm me at the temple? A chill ran through me. That temple was probably not a legitimate place. Okay, let me just go get ready. After thinking it over, I decided to go. I was curious to see what they would try. Inside, I asked her to wait in the living room while I went to my bedroom. I made a phone call, changed my clothes, and went out with her. The temple she mentioned was on a mountain. A deserted-looking mountain, devoid of any human presence. The whole place felt strange. There wasn't a soul in sight. Maya, how did you find this place? I asked her. Maya just smiled and said nothing. After walking for a while, I was exhausted and had to stop. Maya urged me to keep going up the mountain. She seemed desperate for me to die. But I still didn't know why. Why did she want to hurt me? I had never been to this mountain before. The higher we climbed, the more desolate it became. Our feet crunched on the dead leaves, and strange bird calls echoed around us. Maya, maybe we should go back down. This place doesn't feel right. Mountains like this usually have wolves or bears or something. There are only two of us. We shouldn't be in a place we've never been before. I thought that if she agreed, I could let everything that happened before slide. We had been friends for so many years. It wasn't something I could just throw away. I'm a sentimental person. I really didn't want to lose our friendship. If she agreed to turn back, this would be her last chance. Lily, you have to be sincere when you pray. The more remote the place, the more powerful it is. Let's just keep going. We're almost there. Maya refused and insisted I keep climbing. I sighed and followed her up the mountain. Soon we reached a cliff at the summit. And there, believe it or not, was a temple. It looked ancient, as old as that library. The temple walls were covered in green moss, as if no one had cleaned it in a very long time. Look at this desolate place. Is anyone really here? I asked. Or is it just full of monsters that have come to life and taken human form? Maya sneered and pushed me into the temple's main hall. You've known all along, haven't you? She said, looking at me. Her eyes were terrifyingly cold. That cold, unfamiliar feeling washed over me from the bottom of my heart. I frowned, looking into her eyes. So last night you knew I was in the library. You knew I heard your conversation. You did it on purpose. You deliberately let me hear it, deliberately brought me here. But I was hidden so well. Maya sighed. I didn't want to kill you, you know. You just had to cooperate and get banned from the exams for life. Why did you have to be the star? Why did you have to score 1 point higher than me? She suddenly started screaming at me, advancing step by step. My heart tightened, and the phantom pain of my bones being shattered returned. I looked at her in disbelief. It really was her. She was the one trying to hurt me. But why? We were so close. She backed me into a corner. There was nowhere left to run. My back was against the giant stone statue in the temple. The burning incense behind me seared my skin. And you, what's your relationship with her? She tilted her head, her eyes filled with a fake innocence and confusion. Her? Who's her, Lily? Are you confused? I finally snapped. Maya, stop playing dumb with me. Since you already know I was in the library yesterday, and everything you said was for me to hear, then what is your relationship with her? And is she even human? Sometimes you desperately want to know the truth, but at the same time, you're terrified of it. Terrified that the truth is exactly what you imagined. But Maya and I grew up together. Our relationship was like two flowers growing side by side, basking in the same sunlight. We ate together, studied together, even went to the bathroom together. The only time we were apart was when we went our separate ways home from school. I had never seen her contact that person. Every time we went to the library, I never even saw her speak to that woman. Maya smiled. Her face was so innocent and angelic, but her eyes were filled with a dark, vicious hatred. So you figured it out. Well, I guess I can't hide it anymore. She's not human. You already guessed that, didn't you? Why else do you think I insisted you carry her with you? Maya, why? I demanded, my voice sharp. We promised we'd go to an Ivy League school together. Why would you do this? Why would you ruin me? Maya shrieked, why? Because I hate you. I'm jealous of you. Jealous of your family, your looks, your talent. Why? Why were you born a pearl that everyone cherishes, while I was born as worthless as grass in a field? Just a common weed. You have loving parents, a happy family. And me? A mentally unstable mother, a violent, alcoholic father, and a deadbeat younger brother who's always asking me for money. I worked my ass off, and the best I could do was just go to the same top school as you. Why? We're both human. Why is my whole life just a struggle to barely keep up with you? I knew a little about Maya's family situation. That's why, ever since we were little, I was always closest to her. Whatever she liked, I never fought her for it. I always tried to be good to her a little better, to make up for the pain of her childhood. But I never, ever imagined that deep down, she hated me this much. 2 lifetimes. I've lived 2 lifetimes. My best friend walked up to me and slapped me hard across the face twice. In our last life, my name was Rory and you were Lynn. In this life, I'm Maya and you're Lily. Lynn shattered a pen of mine. In this life, you're going to pay for it. I stared at her in horror. What? 2 lifetimes? I was reborn. She was reincarnated? And she was reincarnated with her memories intact. So that's it? Is that the real reason you hate me? I'm not this Lynn person you're talking about. I don't know anything about a pen. Maya, have you ever considered that maybe your memories are lying to you? Maybe you're... Smack. A stinging slap hit my face. She grabbed my neck, her grip like iron. Yes, she hissed through gritted teeth. You don't remember. But I do. In our last life, you lived a happy, perfect life too, while I died a miserable death. Why do you get to have it better than me every single time? I want you to never be reborn. I want you to be damned for all eternity. I want you to burn in hell and die a horrible death. With a furious roar, Maya raised a sharp sword and swung it at me. A white light flashed from the blade. Engraved on it was my name and birth date. When I first came in, I had scanned the main hall. It looked like any other temple. Where did she get that sword? She hacked at me wildly. I dodged to the side, but she swung again. The sword seemed to be guiding her, relentlessly coming for me. I scrambled to dodge left and right, but I couldn't escape the blade. The edge cut into my shoulder. The pain was searing, down to the bone. My blood stained the name and birth date on the blade, and they suddenly vanished. Maya gave a bitter laugh. Lily, don't blame me. Blame your good fortune. Why should you get all the good things in life? With a grunt, she twisted her hand. The blade sliced through my skin. A sharp, piercing pain shot through me, and my whole body felt like it was on fire. There was something else on that sword. She had my name and birth date engraved on it. She was going to kill me. No matter what. My eyes widened in shock. The sword glowed with a snowy white light. Could it be her sentient eraser? Do you hate me that much? Do you really have to kill me? I collapsed to the ground in agony. Twice. She had killed me twice. Or maybe it was many times. That Lynn person I didn't know was apparently my past self. As Rory, she hated Lynn. As Maya, she still hated Lily. From beginning to end, the person she hated was me. The person she wanted to kill was me. Maya, I sobbed, kneeling on the floor as blood dripped from my arm. Maya, I just want to know why. Can jealousy really kill someone? You're killing me because you're jealous? Maya sneered. Not entirely. I also want revenge. Revenge for my pen. It had just gained sentience. They were brothers, born from a drop of my emotion and my heart's blood. They only obey me, and they only exist to kill you. So that drop of emotion was her capacity for kindness? Was this the real reason she hated me? Lily, go to hell. She steeled herself, yanked the sword free, raised it high, and aimed for my neck. No. I won't die. I can't die. I pushed against the ground, trying to force myself to stand. But at that moment, her sword stopped. Geez, looks like I have to do everything myself. In that split second, a dark figure blurred into my vision. He stepped in front of me, and with a flick of his wrist, sent the sword flying from Maya's hand. The man was dressed in a black tactical jacket and a mask. An aura of mystery surrounded him. Bujixing, you couldn't have taken any longer, could you? I grabbed his leg to pull myself up, leaning against him. He turned and flicked his hair at me. I couldn't see his face clearly, but his eyes were practically screaming the word cocky. He was so infuriatingly casual. If I came any earlier, how could I show off my heroic entrance? Son of a bitch. I was about to die, and he shows up now? Did he think I had lives to spare? If I could, I would have strangled him. Bujixing is an agent from Bureau 947. I don't know what his powers are, But his personality is clear. He's a total goofball. Hey, what's with the attitude? I'm here, aren't I? So mean. You're scaring me, he said, drawing out his words in a teasing whine that just made me want to punch him more. I swear, if Maya didn't kill me, he'd be the one to give me a heart attack. He reached out and tapped my shoulder. A warm current flowed from his touch, seeping through my skin and into my bones. My shattered bones felt like they were knitting themselves back together. Man, I'm just so handsome and talented, he said, his smug look practically begging for a punch. Ugh. But I guess I'd forgive him for now. The moment I realized the eraser was sentient, I immediately contacted Bujik Singh. I don't know if it was because of what Maya said about a past life, but I somehow remembered his number. When I called, Bujik Singh's ridiculously laid-back voice answered. Hello. You've reached Bureau 947's most capable and handsome agent. How can I help you? He spoke in a strange, lazy, and utterly punchable tone. Hearing his voice, I had a feeling he might be unreliable. But when I tried to contact someone else, he insisted he would come. I was an idiot to trust him. This is how he shows up. I was about to get my head chopped off, and he calls this a timely arrival. Yeah, great job. Are you two going to just ignore me? Maya shrieked, her eyebrows twitching with rage. Bujik Singh glanced at her, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Then I guess I'll have to deal with you. He waved his hand, and the sword in Maya's hand shattered into a million points of starlight that scattered in the air, and were carried away by the wind. And no. Impossible. Impossible. Maya clutched her head, sobbing. How could you? How could you shatter it so easily? Why? Why? Lily, why does he protect you every single life? Why don't you protect me? She looked at Bujik Singh. In the last life she remembered, it was also Bujik Singh who had destroyed her pen, turning it back to its original form before crushing it under his foot. This life, it was Bujik Singh again, protecting Lily, crushing her eraser. Why was Lily's life always so good? Why was her luck so damn good? Why was she so favored by the heavens? Why? Perhaps she would never understand, not in this life or the last. Because in every life, you were the one in the wrong, Bujik Singh said, his gaze cold as ice. In this life, you were blessed with a scholar's fate. That was a special mercy. But you refused to repent. Now what's your choice? He asked, turning to me. I shook my head. I didn't know. She seemed to be in so much pain. Pain in her last life, and pain in this one. I want her to have nothing to do with me ever again. For all of eternity, we will never meet again. If she didn't want the mercy she was given, then she gets nothing. Besides, she killed my past self. I wasn't about to forgive her. Too nervous? Spacing out. He nodded and walked over to Maya. He mumbled a few words I couldn't understand. After a long moment, or maybe just an instant, Maya fainted. When she woke up, she was completely insane. Bujik Singh had shattered her soul. She was just an empty shell now. He turned back to me and gently touched my forehead. You should forget too. Epilogue. In a corner coffee shop, two people sat at a table by the window. You old geezer, you've been alive for centuries. Why are you still so fixated on her? Bujik Singh flicked his hair and leaned against the window. His long, elegant fingers wrapped around a coffee cup, and he took a small sip. Just like to help people, you know? What other reason could there be? I am, after all, Bureau 947's most capable and handsome agent. Bujik Singh sighed, a bitter smile on his lips. Maybe he just couldn't forget. Even after hundreds of years, he still couldn't forget. He spent his whole life searching for someone similar, for that familiar face. He himself was starting to forget why. You really haven't forgotten after all these years, his companion teased. People like them, with special abilities, tended to live long lives. He had known Bujik Singh for a very long time. Bujik Singh didn't answer. He just stared out the window. A young woman was crouching on the corner, looking at a female lunatic who had just escaped from the asylum. Maya had gone insane. She wasn't sentenced to prison but was taken to a mental hospital. They had assigned many guards to watch her, but she still managed to escape when they weren't looking. The young woman was wearing a white, floral print sundress, her hair in a ponytail, full of youthful energy. Look at you. You had a good life ahead of you, and you threw it away. So I'll live it for you. The young woman smiled. She glanced down and saw a small, white piece of an eraser next to Maya. She stomped on it, grinding the eraser into a paste. Maya, no matter what you do, she's never coming back. She had to crush this eraser, just as the pen had been crushed. She had to destroy any hope Maya had left. The young woman looked up at the coffee shop on the corner. By the window, a man in a mask seemed to be looking at her. The end.